Hello, Megan. How you doing? All right, let's go and take a look. Blue background, we'll talk about that. It doesn't make any sense of the colors. Unsure about type, we'll talk about that as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump over to, I've got each one open separately. So let's go ahead and take a look. Um, let's start out with Johnny. Now, I'm still thinking there. This looks like it. Well, first of all, I want to say you've got a really good start going here on L4. Really good start. I think that we need a lot more detail in each one, and I'll specifically um, I'll talk about each stamp specifically individually as to what kind of detail we need. But in general, I think this is just a really, really good start. All four. I mean, the great thing is you can tell who all four of these are at this point. So that's just pointing to a really fantastic start. So from this point, all we have to do is fine tune things, and we are in business. All right. Let's start with Johnny, shall we? Okay. Remember my comments earlier from a couple of days ago, and even last week, I said that we took a look at Robin, and remember his face was like really skinny but really tall, and that pointed to a distortion in the way that you place the background image. If you resize the background image without maintaining the original aspect ratio of the image, of course, the illustration is going to be distorted, right? And there was two. It was Robin and Johnny Depp that I thought that I made the comments. So I was most concerned about that distortion in the background. Looks like you fixed Robin a little bit, but Johnny still looks like it's really short but really wide. So definitely check out that background image. Um, Now, when you do submit for final presentation, you will be submitting the original image along with the flat avatar illustration. So you definitely want to make sure that you adjust those. All right. I think Johnny, honestly, is the most well-developed of all four of the pieces. I think that if you could kind of duplicate the process that you have here, and I still think this is a little underdeveloped. I think we still need some more detail in the hair. And then also, let's see, there's no detail in the ear at all, in the ears. And then over here, we've got the eyes. I think we definitely need some kind of, everybody's got these little lines under their eyes. It's kind of, let me show you what I mean. See these little lines right here. Everybody's got those. And it just really, really, and you can see there, and all of the illustrations we have kind of depict that little bag underneath the eye. And I think that's really important to add dimension, as you can see right here. Okay, and we also have these other shadows here and other assorted little shadows and creases in the eye area. So the eye area doesn't just consist of the opening of the eye. It consists of several folds around the eye. And the face does too. The whole face, facial characteristics are all defined by changes in uh, the shadow and highlight, basically. So there's no such thing as a line in nature. Line is where two surfaces meet. So when we have like crease lines, like smile lines and that, it basically depicts a tonal variation based on a shadow, which means that one area is catching light differently than other areas. Now, granted, this is a flat avatar technique. However, it would be really fantastic for you to add more shadow and highlight in the areas, especially the eyes and other assorted facial characteristics. Other than that, I think we're looking great. A little more detail in the clothes, but the clothes are coming along beautifully. A little visibility in those buttons so we can see that. Maybe a little visibility demarcating the difference between, it looks like this is a black jacket or a brown gray jacket, and the shirt is more blue. So I'm going to make a little bit more reference to that detail. Yeah, and then eyes. Think about adding eyelashes as well. Eyelashes and then those little kind of bags and other assorted lines, little kind of shadow areas where everyone's hair has a little kind of shadow line, as we see that really done really well right here. And then look at the neck. Look how beautiful the tonal variations are in the neck here. Really, really depicting the way the light reflects off this illustration, off the face. And so that's just really, really good work right there. And another great example is right up here. Um, Melanie's done a fantastic job with shadow areas, facial creases, little lines around the eyes. Look at those little lines right there with the shadows. Just wonderful, wonderful detail. And that, and to a high degree, I think is what makes Megan's stamp series so darn successful. And I think that you can follow suit. And I think that you're there. I mean, everything is there in place, ready to add detail. So I think that's what we're pointing at. Now, in terms of typography, and I see this on all four stamps. Now, when you placed the type, a couple of things I would recommend is for variety, think about mixing a serif typeface with a sans serif typeface, and we can see that right here. There's a serif typeface mixed with a sans serif typeface. But what we have here is the iconic American Entertainers typeface that you've used. It looks like it's been distorted as well. And basically what happens is when you place type, if you have to resize it, it's just like an image. Whenever you resize, you select the bounding box with your mouse cursor, right? And you drag the corner bounding box. Now, if you notice, you can stretch it this way, stretch it this way. To maintain the original aspect ratio, just hold your shift key down when you're making those. So what it looks like here is that this has been distorted. It's been stretched vertically, but it's not constraining horizontal proportion. So that's why this looks tall and skinny. A really good indication here is the tittle. That's it's called the tittle. It's a dot over the eye. You can see it's oval shaped. That indicates that this has been kind of distorted in that way. So again, when resizing in Illustrator, when you select the item, no matter what it is, hold that shift key down. When you drag the corner bounding box, you'll see that it increases at a consistent rate. So that both the vertical and horizontal axis are affected at the same time, as opposed to stretching it vertically or stretching it horizontally. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next image. Again, same thing. This one, there's absolutely, well, same thing with the eyes. We need detail in the eyes. Really think about adding little eyelashes. It just really, as you can see right here, take a look at that example. Little eyelashes right in there, and that's behind the glasses. And note, I think you do have one with glasses. Johnny Depp has glasses, so note that little kind of frosted area right there. It's just a white transparent overlay on those glasses to kind of make it look like there's actually glass in the glasses. You might try that technique. It's an interesting technique. But again, there's no detail in the ears, no detail in the beard at all, and really there's no detail in the face. So what we really want to start just trying to establish that kind of detail, highlight, shadow, get some texture in the beard, maybe a little bit more detail in the clothing area. Try to find some folds in the clothing area that will depict movement. Look at this beautiful job on the shirt, on this shirt right here, based on these folds. That's just gorgeous, isn't it? Okay. So yes, eyes, face, shadow, highlight, texture in the beard, more detail in the beard area, detail in the ears, eyes, shadows, highlights, etc. Same thing with the typography here. Let's move on to the next piece. This piece I think is starting. It's got a good start, but again, there's just absolutely no shadow and highlight in the face at all. We got that neck. Look at the neck, just that little shadow on the neck. Look at the amount of depth that it's adding to this illustration. And you can really clearly see that just adding a few more areas of that type of detail in the shadows, highlights, different areas, and just kind of there's these little facial creases and indicating the kind of roundness of the cheeks and dimples, etc. So you really want to try to preserve that. Again, eyelashes, detail in the eyes. Really great technique is that at this point is to add a little specular highlight. The eyes are really important, so little reflections. And again, we can just jump right over here to Megan's and I'm sorry, Melanie's work, and you can see, look at the eyes have these little reflections. That's really impactful. So I recommend the same in your work. Okay, back to Robin. The hair is really problematic here. Before that, though, let's talk about again. There's no detail in the ear at all. There's just really no detail associated with any kind of shadows or contours associated with the nose, the mouth, and the eyes. So you're gonna definitely want to work that out. The hair is really problematic here. It just doesn't look like it's the same hair. It just looks like there's something on his head, like a hat or something. So I would definitely work on the hair area as well. And again, you started to develop a little detail in the clothing here. I would continue that as well. Okay, let's move on to the next. Canoe looks good. Looks good. Little shadows there, shadows, eye detail, reflections, etc. Same thing. Same comments basically for all four illustrations. It's just really pointing to detail at this point. Okay, all right. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be doing double time this week, so if you want to make some adjustments and resubmit by Sunday, or before Sunday, that's fantastic. I'll be glad to provide additional comments and critique. Okay. So the most important thing, of course, again, is if you have any questions at all, please let me know and I'll be glad to provide any clarification needed. All right, great start. Thank you very much.